life between the trees. Today I'm asking, probably more myself than anything, the question, what do I replace my bike with? My current bike, 2021 Sherco 300 SE factory, is just about 6 years old now. Got quite a few hours on it, and it's been a great bike, no denying it. There has been no issues with the bike at all that haven't been related to me, either crashing it or dropping it somewhere, so can't complain about that. I am a motor mechanic and I've done a bit to try and help the bike help me. So when I got it, I went over the wiring looms and repositioned them so they didn't rub, and cleaned the plugs and put some electrical goo in them, that sort of thing. And one of the relatively common Sherco complaints is a failed regulator, and to that end I always run my headlight, soak up the power of the big Sherco alternator. It's a 220 watt alternator, which is quite sizable for a dirt bike. Might drop into the creek there actually. So based on my previous good experience, some people might naturally ask, well, why not just replace it with the same brand and ride on? And I could certainly do that. The new model frame, released in 2025, addressed quite a lot of the common complaints, I guess you'd say, comments from owners of the older model like mine. The plastics now fit the bikes neatly. The electrics have been tidied up. The fuse box is accessible in through the side panel, as is the air filter, which is another common complaint. The air filter on this, if you've got big hands like me, near impossible to change without getting absolutely covered in air filter goo. And becomes an annoying thing. So they've got a new one-handed air filter change-out system. So having said those things about the Sherco, things I'd like to see change are to do with the motor, personal things. I'd love to see them get EFI, and I'd like to see a diaphragm clutch fitted, as most of the other brands have got now. So having said that, some would rightly say, just get one of the KTM group bikes. To that I say, I just don't actually like the brand. So I've got previous history with the KTM group. One of the reasons I don't want to commit to a bike of their stable. I know now they're under new ownership. The Indians have them, probably for the better. But I'm just not comfortable with their brand of bike. And I don't feel that their tuning of the EFI is that much better than the TPI that came before it, which was horrible. So better, but there's a lot of people still complaining about the lack of torque and how much it still doesn't feel like a carbureted bike. So the other brands seem to have got that closer to the mark. I've never got on well with WP forks. I know the new one has got quite a good following now, which is good to hear. But certainly if you buy the cheaper model, the gas, it's an open fork, open cartridge fork. They were terrible on my old racing Sherco. That's one of the reasons I changed the bike out when I did. Well, after they went to KYB, changed to exactly the same bike but with KYB, and loved the bike. So what does that leave? Well, that takes 3 bikes out of the equation. So you could say beta. They're still carbureted. Still got beta electrical problems as far as I'm aware, and the oil injection isn't reliable still. So I'll cross them off the list. That leaves TM. We don't have any TM dealers in Australia that are worth looking at. There's one listed near me, but they've closed their doors after a short stint. I've only ever seen one in the bush ever, and a couple in dealerships, so they're not on the list. They got Fantic, pretty new to Australia, second evolution of the bike. Remains to be seen whether the torque is as good as some of the new reports are of the 26 motor, so hopefully it's better than the previous reports that said it was pretty lacking and much more like a YZ was originally that it began life as. So the main bike on my radar is the Reju. New bike, new engine, not much dealership support, EFI, diaphragm clutch, KYB suspension. I just don't want to be the first guy in my area to have one. Ticks all the boxes. I went and actually had a look at one at a local dealer, or local, an hour away in Brisbane. I'm on the Sunshine Coast, and the fit and finish look great. Wiring looms have nice plugs on them. They look like, you know, they're well put together. All the reports online and even the videos seem to show they're quite capable of lugging down low like the Sherco does. Carburetor like riding without carburetor fuel spill, jetting problems, leaking in your shed, the whole carburetor experience. So it's high on the list. It's not something I've committed to. Sure, I could just go and get another Sherco. We have an amazing dealership network here, and big support from the importer, who have been very kind to me over the years as well. Do a lot on the Facebook pages, and they've smiled on me quite a few times, and I very much appreciate that. I'll get some flack, I'm sure. People say, oh, you're mad from going away from your carburetor, riding where you do. I do ride this bike a lot in this sort of terrain. It's not the only thing we do, but you know, I do appreciate the torque, and a lot of that's down to how I've jetted my carburetor. I'm hoping that the EFI is as close to that as possible. The fuel comes in from the same place as the carburetor delivers, so I can't see how the mapping's right. It's going to be wrong. Another thing to mention with the Reju is I can't get a test ride on the bike either. The dealer is inner city Brisbane, and they don't have a demo and aren't likely to get one, so you know, it's a bit hard to decide on a bike blind without even a test ride and handing over your fistful of cash. So yeah, another thing to consider. So what is it that's stopping me? Indecision, essentially. I'm hesitant. I'm sure the red bike would be great. I don't want to burn ties with the people I've built a relationship over a long period of time, that being the Sherco community. However, their engine hasn't changed in the 6 years since this bike was new. It's not going to change for another 12 months. And I may as well just ride the engine I've got now. in the frame I've got now, if that's the case. And there's no guarantee that they're going to add EFI later, unless they're absolutely made to by the EU. So there you have it. Let me know what you'd do. Suck it up and see. Go back to what you know. If there's something else I've forgotten, hit me up, let me know. Thanks for watching. There you guys. Enjoy your life between the trees. This is where it's at. Whatever you ride.